What happens if your nitro engine's got a bit of an air leak? It could be sucking in air through the head, through the carburetor, around the carburetor, through where it attaches to the block, or perhaps the throttle linkage, or possibly even the front bearings. So what happens? Well, if it's sucking in air, it's going to be running a bit lean, and the engine won't run very well because nitro engines are so small. They can't really tolerate a lot of, well, things wrong with them. So if it's got an air leak, it's going to be sucking in a bit of air. It's going to be making it run a bit lean, which is going to make it run poorly, and it will damage it if it's too much. Big full-size engines can suffer an air leak here and there because they're bigger and they can just suffer more things. How can you check to see if you've got an air leak? Let's just say you suspect there's an air leak. You've played with the needles. You can't get it to run right. It's still running lean on tick over, or perhaps on throttle under load, or whatever. Easy, quick, simple way to check for an air leak. I'll show you. If we fire up a car, I'll demonstrate. Where's the car? Manuel? John? Where's the car? It's not there, they can't see it. Where's the where's the wire for it? Find the wire, plug it in. Right. Now we've got a car that you can actually see. Let's take it off the shell, fire it up, and to be honest, I don't even know if this one's got any air leaks. For all I know, it could have air leaks. And that would be a good example if it has, because you'll see what happens. But I'll explain what will happen, and I'll also explain what won't happen. Alright, I've got a glow starter. So what you can do, I'm going to show you what you do. Now you can use a bit of WD-40, and what you're meant to do is, WD-40 is not so good, so it's a bad example because it doesn't really work. It does work, but not as well. What you want is you want either Easy Start or Ether, whatever it is you have in your country where you live, brake cleaner, yeah, or carb cleaner, contact cleaner, switch cleaner, anything that is extremely flammable. Because what you're going to do, if I turn this around the other way, when it's running, and I will demonstrate, spray it. Just spray whatever it is you pick. I'm going to pick Easy Start because it's, I don't want to waste my brake cleaner or my switch cleaner or my WD-40. But WD-40 does work, but it's not as good because it's not as flammable as the rest of these. These are obviously extremely flammable. So, when it's running, just spray it. Spray it around the carb. Spray it where the carb meets the block. Spray it around the needle seats there. Spray it around the throttle. Also, you're not going to be able to get right in there, but spray it where the bell, not the bell, where the flywheel meets the block in there. You'll see where the flywheel is. You try and get some in there, because if it's sucking in air through the front bearing, you're not going to be able to get the rear bearing very well. But if it's sucking in air through the front bearing, it will be sucking it from around where the flywheel meets. Now if you're spraying this in there, it's going to suck this in, and also spray some around the bottom of the head. Really, you won't get much sucking in, but you can do. Normally it blows it out when under combustion, but it can suck it in. Try not to spray it around your air filter, because you might get a bit of a false reading. For example, if it's leaking where the air filter boot meets the carburetor, and you're spraying a load of carb spray or Easy Start around that area, it could be sucking it in through that, and you think got a leak somewhere. Although that is a leak, it's not a bad leak, because that's a good leak. Well, it's not a good leak as far as dust goes, but it's a leak that you can easily rectify by just putting a better seal around your boot. So you've got to be careful. Spray it directly where you want it to go. Now, what will happen is, if it's sucking in air through those places where it's not supposed to be sucking in air, it will rev up. And you'll go, and it will try to rev. because it's sucking in a flammable thing, and it will burn that and it will rev up. Once it's burned it off, it will go back down to whatever it was running at, tick over or whatever. If you spray it around all these places and nothing happens, you have no leaks. Okay, well, you can pretty much put a safe bet on you've got no leaks. As I say, if it revs up, you've definitely got a leak. So let me I'm going to put the transmitter on for this because I want to test out my new transmitter. Oh, that's not very good, is it? Hey! Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Right, let me get some nitro in it. We'll fire it up and you'll see what I mean. Maybe you won't see what I mean. I don't know. This is a perfectly good running engine, but it could have a leak. I don't know. That wasn't anything to do with the carb spray. It was because this engine hasn't run for quite some time, plus it's really cold. Really, you need to do it with an engine that's a bit warmer than this. I reckon we're okay with this one. I call that good. I don't think there's any leaks there. Nothing really happened. The engine note didn't change, the tone didn't change, the revs didn't change. Once I'd sprayed the, this was easy start, what I sprayed on there, so if there was any leaks, that would have sucked that in and that would have revved up straight away. It may have bogged it down a bit and made it run a bit slower if there was too much of it, because this is a small engine, but didn't do any of that. The reason why it was, the reason why it stopped a couple of times was just because it was cold. Simple as that. It hasn't run for a couple of months and it was just cold. So there we go. That's what you can do. As I say, if you have got a leak, it will rev up, or at least the engine note will change. You'll notice a change in the engine sound, the engine note, it'll be different. So there we go. Quick, easy and simple. I've summarised it enough times now, but just if you think you've got a bit of a leak, or you just can't get your engine to run properly, it seems to be running lean randomly all the time or some of the time, you think there might be a leak, or if you don't realise there's a leak, you don't know what the problem is. If it's running lean randomly, there's probably a leak somewhere, an air leak sucking in more air than it should be. Use a bit of flammable something, spray it around the carburetor, the front bearings, the head and all that kind of stuff, and you'll soon find out if there is or there isn't a leak. And that also goes for real engines, full-size ones, as well as nitro. Any combustion engine, pretty much. Thanks for watching. I'll take care. Well, I will take care, but you lot take care as well. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. All the best.